pretty angry. And they had created kind of a story about that. And I think underlying it, being a male authority figure here, sometimes people play out stuff with me sometimes. And I think that that was happening with this. But regardless, this person was very angry, had this story about me. And two things I thought of. The first is, wow, you've been having this go on for a while. I have been in a completely different relationship with you. You know, I was enjoying us. and you weren't. You were in conflict about us. And so a few years later, the person got a diagnosis, a terminal diagnosis. And they called me and they said, I'm so sorry. All that stuff, you know, I made up. And I'm so sorry. And they said, you know, I love you. I see you for where you're at. So this thing with my dad and this conversation that I had with this person, I'm like, wow. It took, in these two cases, dying for this to happen. And you know, the Buddhists have a practice where they meditate and feel into their own dying as a spiritual practice so that they could be really clear, kind of like what Fred said, about what their priorities are, what's important in their life now, what's important in this moment. So I kind of want to leave you with something here. I want to leave you with this idea. If you knew in a week you were going to die, who would you call? Or whose house would you go over and say, you know that story that I've been carrying? Doesn't mean anything. That judgment I've had, the comparison that I've been making about you, it means nothing in comparison to this moment with you now. Who would that be in your life? So maybe we don't have to wait until we're in hospice, or maybe we don't have to wait till we have a terminal disease to clean up these relationships. And you know, as Beth kind of said, you know, the truth of the matter is, on a spiritual level, the most significant truth is we're connected to each other. So if I'm out of sync with you, I'm really out of sync with myself. Okay, one more thing, I'm going to say this real fast. There's a story in the Old Testament, or in the New Testament, you know, the prodigal son, where the son asks the dad for a part of his inheritance. He goes off and he blows the money on wild men or women, whatever he did, and food and drink, whatever it was, right? And he realizes, oh, this is no good. I've got to go back to my father's house. Goes back to his father's house, and his father warmly greets him, and then his older brother has judgment about this, you know, and he's commenting on it, right? Well, anytime we look at Scripture, there are aspects of ourselves. So just like in a dream, it's aspect of yourself. So each of these characters are aspects that reside within you. So residing within you is a loving, abundant, rich Father. It's called Source. It's a divine source. That's within you. That's an abundance within you. That's a presence within you, always ready to welcome you home. Always ready to put the robe on and kill the fatted calf and put the ring on your finger. Always ready for that. And there's a part of us, you know, that's looking for happiness. You know, where's my contentment? Where's my fulfillment? Where will I be happy? Is it out with this drink or these wild people, or out there somewhere when I get certain recognition? Or do I find my happiness when I'm connected with Source, that inner Source, where I have a sense of all my needs are met and I'm deeply loved for who I am? And then we've got the critical voice, right? We've got that voice that's always judging, always making comments, always harsh, always blaming, right? What if we just, like the Father, welcome that one in? Welcome that voice in with love and acceptance, maybe not trying to change it or control it, just letting it be. when we're connected to Source, when we welcome with love that critical voice, we don't reflect conflict or separation in the world. We don't reflect that.